Good morning, welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is the second of two live streams today. I repeat, the second of two live streams today, and I'm going to get in the camera and say that today we're going to cover some food. So, this is the second live stream. The first one, okay, welcome back, whether you're from, 안녕하세요, konnichiwa, ni hao, bonjour, wherever you're from in this world, to the Ahn Rho Project. This is the second of two live streams, and we're going to cover food. The previous live stream covered a huge task management. I have a whole bunch of things that I need to cover, about 150 task list of items to about maybe five major domains of life, from health to finance to relationships. That was in my previous live stream. The one in this live stream is, what you see is what you get. So you see the photographs on the left and right hand side, and as well as the title. We're going to be covering a lot of Tim Hortons. So what is Tim Hortons? It's just food. It's a coffee and donut shop that is notoriously Canadian. That is the main topic of Tim Hortons, is really that it's like the mascot of Canada, aside from maple syrup. And so what happened during, I mentioned in the previous live stream, again, wherever you're from, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Africa TV, that's the Korean, I guess, live stream right now, channel. Wherever you're from, I can tell you just some context that Tim Hortons is this, Canadian chain that sells coffee, donuts, tea, all that kind of stuff, as well as some breakfast sandwiches, think of eggs and bacon and stuff like that, as well as bagels, that kind of stuff. Usually I don't buy it so often. What happened is, like I mentioned, this entire month, which you see the previous live stream on my channel, is basically filled with all sorts of problems coming all together at once, from having to take care of appointments, health appointments, to my broken, family relationships. It's not even a family anymore. To health and finance issues, to making payments back to the government for student loans, to paying off my rent and all the bills colliding together, having insurance, making accounts with my insurance and policies, benefits, stuff like that. Everything just piled in together at once. And in addition to, having my, some of my caregivers needing surgery and having severe health issues, from stomach ulcers to tumors, and me trying to resolve my issues with them. So all that came together, and over the week, normally I eat pretty tame things, but this past 2 weeks I just collapsed completely, and almost every other day. So I'm going to show the camera right here. We have this is all that remains. This is all that I have left to show. If you see in the top left, or my left is your right, so your left is my right. I believe there are 3 photographs on this side. What you see is basically here is just the remaining of what's there, and that's, I'll talk about it, right? So what is it? So you see a medium tea, green tea. That was some antioxidants. I tried to introduce that just to, lower my blood pressure and all that stress. My workplace is already stressful enough. And then we have 2 photographs of the sandwiches there, which is bacon, egg, on an English muffin. So it's just, and then I bought that almost 3-4 days in a row, not back to back, but skipping 1 or 2 days, I'd buy another one again. And I usually don't do that. Like I said, I usually just bring a sandwich to work or something, or at least to get some variety. But at that point, on those days, man, I didn't even have anything to eat. I would just go to work sometimes, and I would not eat the entire fucking day, because I'd be working when I'm at my residence at home, and then I'd be working, in the middle of night, like I'm doing right now, and then I'd be working when I'm at work. So I'm working here, I'm working there, I'm working everything. I'm working on the relationships, I'm working on the health issues, I'm working on the financial issues, I'm working on this business project. It was so stressful, and I just, like I said, there were days I didn't eat anything except for that Tim Hortons, and it was, it's hilarious. I'm in such bad shape right now. I'm so beaten and bruised, and this is such a terrible thing to say, because I come from a background where I've had most of my life third world problems. I remember, having to scrape by, trying to make, just to save $1 or $2. That's the way my parents have always raised me. Life is cruel, it's unfair. They grew up having to watch their own siblings die from starvation back in Vietnam. My father didn't even have, he had to, for about 6 months as a refugee, Vietnamese boat people stuck in Malaysia, he had no food, no water, no electricity. He had to just survive by, it was food and gathering, hunter-gatherer society, stranded in an island, no food, no electricity. So I'm very familiar with third world problems. Even when I was born, it was largely that. And so me just, venting and trying to cope with all these, I guess, first world problems. Not trying to downplay it, but it feels kind of odd, It's like I'm in Canada now. I have food, I have shelter, I have clothing, but it doesn't take away from the stress and the anxiety that fills my life now from all these, other problems that are completely different from the problems I used to face, which was the basic necessities of life, from food to money and shelter and clothing. It's like, you bring yourself out of the hole only to land into another hole. It's incredibly, but I wouldn't change it for the world, right? Obviously, first world problems are just on another level, way they're, at least they're manageable. You have a chance to climb out, and that's different from third world problems, where if you can't even afford that, then it affects your ability to think. I can tell you, if you don't have enough food in your stomach and you don't have enough clothes on you to keep you warm, you won't be a sane individual. You won't be smart. You won't be intelligent. You won't be anything. Or at least it will be very difficult for you to. Everything's holding you back. And so, no regrets. Long story short, I ended up eating at Tim Hortons for almost the entire 2 weeks. And yeah, stupid. So I have to get myself back in shape and shit like that. But yeah, that's what came into my life. That's what came out. So I bought at least, if I had to divide by servings, at least 10 to 15 servings of Tim Hortons, whether it be donuts like croissants and some of those sandwiches you see on the photograph right there, and stuff like that. Whatever, whatever got me by the day. Drinking some tea. I had some coffee sometimes. Whatever. And then you see some photographs on the my left hand side, which is your right. So what's that all about? So this is, again, stuff I should have covered last week. So you see two Bartlett pears, I believe they're called, that green pears, as well as a samosa and a spring roll. So what's up with these things on the side here? Samosa, spring rolls, and Bartlett. So these are Bartlett pears. These are gifts or treats that I got from my colleagues at my workplace. Like I said, I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate. Well, I also understand I wasn't completely luck-based, because all of this, the reason why I got into the company is because I persevered and constantly jumped ship. So many times I've worked for so many different companies over the course of the past 4 years, meeting new clients, meeting new companies, meeting new people. And so I finally, that search is the reason why I'm able to work at such a fortunate place with such great colleagues. But needless to say, part of it is, of course, still, I still am grateful for just having it in general. Regardless of how much effort I put towards it, it could have just not paid off. Life is cruel enough that if you put all your hard work towards something, it can still explode in the palm of your hands. It can be like that. So, I got to it, and guess what? My colleagues gave me some treats over the course. They had their birthdays, and, they shared some food around. And, during these times, I would recommend not doing that because of the whole pandemic situation. But again, they're practicing all the safe measures here, making sure to, most importantly, to do hand washing, wearing a mask, keeping the social distancing, physical distancing, all that kind of stuff. But on occasion, they still give us treats. They just share around some food with some tongs, put on some gloves and then tongs, just to keep the skin contact separate. And then so they passed me some food like that. And it was someone's birthday here or there, and one of the owners of the business, my boss basically, showed up, and he's the senior, so he showed up, and that's why the samosas there. That's why the pears are there. It's from one of my colleagues, and the samosas and spring rolls are there from my manager, my owner of the business. So just wanted to show some appreciation. So those are class 4 items. Class 4 meaning they're things from my colleagues or my friends or my fellow volunteers, boss, employee, employer. So those are things that I came into my life. I obviously don't have them on camera anymore, unlike this. This is the Tim Hortons stuff, a couple napkins. This is the, I guess, the garbage that I should have thrown away, but I didn't because I wanted to show on camera. But now I can throw it away because I've shown on camera. The napkins and stuff like that. So, but that's the food there that I had to take photographs of because obviously I don't have them anymore. I've thrown them away, eaten them. And with that being said, that is pretty much the wrap up for I guess the major portion of this live stream focused on, you know, how I coped, the food that I ate, which is so full of junk, and then well, that's a bit. I don't mean, you know, it's not a dig on Tim Hortons. I love Tim Hortons, but you should eat that on occasion, right? Not every single day. And then of course there are these like treats that I got from my colleagues. So the last thing I have to do, as usual, every single time I do a live stream, I do this. The take-home message. What is the take-home message for the 1 or 2 people who may or may not be familiar? If you're watching this on replay, you know what it is. Or if you don't, here you go. Take care of yourself, take care of your health, your finance, of the people that you consider important in your life, the people who you value and you love. Make sure that you become a strong, responsible, disciplined individual, because that is the best way, the best thing you can do for the people who care for you is to make sure that they don't have to worry about you. So make sure that you become strong, independent, and responsible. That sounds easier said than done. It is easier said than done. And I'm not trying to be preachy here because I'm obviously trying to do that myself. And I can tell you things have improved so much since I started the Ahn Rho Project at least 2.5 years ago. But without question, I know that it's very challenging. So I can tell you for a fact that you still just have to be patient and keep pushing. No matter how many thousands of things it feels like life just keeps beating on you. Thousands is not an exaggeration. If you go day by day, you'll realize that over the course of a year, you will get hit with thousands of things, from small things that will bother you to things that are major catastrophes, whether they are severe topics like health, relationships, and so on. So, you know, if you have goals or ambitions that you've set for yourself, trying to become the next civil engineer and all the prerequisite steps to doing that, or you're trying to become a physician, a doctor, or maybe you want to do something special for your wife or your spouse or your kids and grandkids. I don't know who's watching, right? Maybe your grandkids. Do those things and all the small steps that lead up to that. It's going to take time, but again, take responsibility for it. There's no place for a victim mentality mindset here, all right? It's okay to vent. You have to vent, but you know, do that, vent, okay, get your emotions out, and then use that energy to focus on action to bring yourself out of the hole. And I know I've been there. So if you have also, that's a positive stuff, all the careers and stuff like that, and relationships and things you want to do for kids, but you probably have problems and challenges, right? So I do too. So if you have any sort of, you're stuck in a rut right now and you're really depressed and anxious, or have a whole bunch of severe health issues, money issues, solve those things, you know, get that out of the way. Do your best to resolve those problems. I want you to focus on those things because that's what I do here on camera. Everything I do on live stream is honest and real. It's just raw. That's just what it is. It's just me trying to solve the issues in my life. I mentioned in the previous live stream, the one before this, that basically that's what the Ahn Rho Project is. It's a self-therapeutic process for me to solve the problems and challenges in my life. It's a self-improvement process for me to reach the positive goals in life and ambitions I've set for myself, right? So I want what's best for you. I don't compromise what I do here on stream for anybody else because I remain steadfast on my conviction that, of course, to serve other people better, I have to take care of myself. I can't take care of you if I can't even take care of myself. I hope you share this understanding. Take care of yourself, become a strong, responsible individual, take care of your problems, and reach those goals you've set for yourself so that you can actually have something to contribute to the people you care about. So with that being said, I'm going to end off this last portion by saying, as usual, even though I stream 7 days a week, you know, just drop in about once or twice a week is fine because you need to focus your time, attention, energy, and resources on things that matter to you. That's very important, okay? So this is it. This is the Ahn Rho Project. Thank you for tuning in. A good restart to everything. And I'll see you all on the next live stream, which is hopefully tomorrow morning. I'm going to try to get it done by tomorrow morning and continue off of the daily live streaming schedule when we cover, I think, a lot of garbage that's compiled over the past 2 weeks, that's probably what I'm going to start covering tomorrow morning. So this is the Ahn Rho Project. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see all my hypothetical imaginary viewers the next live stream tomorrow morning right here on all the platforms. Okay, this is Ahn Rho signing out. Ciao, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Bye.